So welcome to the top 8 of the Magic Gathering Strat Extended Pauper League. We're playing against Den of Bears, who I do not believe I've ever played, and I have not scouted at all or anything, so going in blind, no idea what's going on. We have a pretty sweet hand here. Any Prophetic Prism in any land lets us cast these 4 drops. We have, by turn 3, we can kill a creature with Victim of Night, so seems decent. Not the best against aggro, but our gatekeepers catch us up. So yeah, I'm not opposed. We're on the draw. Dimir Guildgate. Okay, Devour Flash, pretty good. Plays Island Go. Okay, so first I thought we might be playing some sort of mirror, but it looks like we're playing against maybe a blue-black deck. Here we play the Dimir Guildgate, so we have 2 black up for Victim of Night if needed next turn. And don't think twice, don't anticipate, that's fine. Small backwater, okay. So we play the Font instead of the Prophetic Prism that we drew this turn because it lets us draw 2 next turn. Let's just get ahead. He plays Thought Scour, milling 2, so he's probably like a Gurmag Angler deck. I actually built a blue-black kind of Delver deck with Gurmag Angler, Thought Scour. It's like, you know, almost a real Pauper deck. Straight up. So he's got the Evolving Wilds. And looks like he's got the Angler. Alright. So it's pretty important to, I think, kill the Angler while he's tapped out. This Victim of Night can't target it, so we'll just go ahead and Devour Flash. Would have been nice to hit a land drop, but we did not. I could have risked it and potentially popped the Font of Fortunes, hope to hit an untapped land, but it had to have been a swamp. Or no, never mind. Any untapped land would have done it. So we had 10 outs in our deck, 10 out of 49, you know, to hit once, twice. I just don't think it was worth it to take 5 damage and potentially give him counterspell mana to protect his guy. So Zombie Drake, that's pretty annoying because Victim of Night can't kill it, and it's a 3-power flyer that's incredibly hard to kill. So I was thinking about Stitch Drake in my deck too. I ended up cutting it, but that card is quite strong, I think. So here, I already have a land drop which I drew for turn. So I'm planning on Fonting at end of turn, or Victim of Nighting if he plays anything worth killing. But he just bashes me, so I'll draw a couple cards, hope to hit another land. Never hitting untapped lands, so we're in a spot where he's holding all this mana open. I think he's got counterspells. So if I go for the Archaeomancer to get back to Fire Flash, or go for Sunspire Gatekeepers, pretty sure it's just going to get countered. So I want to just like play off these 2 Prophetic Prisms. I don't think I'm going to get it countered. Lets me hopefully try to hit these untapped lands. I have to discard a land, which is a little annoying. But he doesn't have anything twice or anticipate. Just read the bones. So he's trying to draw some gas. He goes card on bottom, so he's looking for gas. Bashes me for 3. So I lead with Auramancer here because I have Flicker in play. If I lead with a 4-drop with only 6 mana, then I can't play anything else this turn. So I figure play Auramancer, get back Font, play Font is a reasonable line. Lets me, again, draw more cards, and Auramancer already showing some value, which is nice. So he's still crunching me in the air and playing lands. Radiant Fountain is a nice draw step, because it's a flicker target if need be. Here, I will attempt my first 4-drop. I figure he's got counters. I'll play my worst one, Ceruli. And he has Cessant Scatter, which is fine. I'm going to plan on Font end of turn. Take my beats. He has Gurmag Angler holding open 4 mana, which means he has, to me, he has Think Twice, another Essence Scatter, Cancel, If he had just cancel, he would have Probably tap one more mana and save the guy in his graveyard, so it makes me think he has two mana spells, which is not good for me. So I pop a font, hit some lands. So this turn I figure I can attempt to play a 4-drop before I play my 4th land, which I can play untapped. This 2/4 would be good because if I could get it to land with another 2/2, I can gang block the angler with 6 of my guy, or three of my guys giving 6 power to kill his guy, and he can only kill my 2/2/2s or my 2/4. So I get that to resolve, so I figure I'm probably safe here. So I'll try to land my better spell. And Archaeomancer is obviously better. Getting back to Devour Flesh would be really important. But he cancels it. So that's not that good for me. Can't attack into the 5/5. He's got another Read the Bones, which is a really sick card. It's just almost better than 4C. He's got a Reave Soul for my 2/4, which is pretty annoying. So now he can attack. And I can't really take and go to 2. I chump with the 2/2 because I have the Flicker. I can block Flicker the Armancer and at least get back a font, or even maybe a Deadweight or something in the future, but he's kind of beating me down. Thought Scours himself. No, he has potentially only 1 counterspell this turn, so I can definitely land at least 1 creature. So I need to bait, hopefully, this out. Sunspire resolves. So I need Cerulli to resolve. And he does. Alright, so I think I'm doing well. I can attack, and I can still block with all my guys. He needs another removal spell. But he has to think twice, so he's way ahead on cards. Again, maybe not the best attack with Auramancer, but I figure I don't want to put that in the block anyway because I want to flicker it one day. So I'm probably in a spot where this time he's only attacking for 8. I can probably go to 6 and maybe start racing. But another angler is brutal. So you can kind of see we have 1 Victim of Night in our deck, and we've been punished really heavily. If it was just murder, this game would have been so much easier. We'd been taking basically 0 damage from this Stitch Drake, and we've been at a very high life total. So here we hope to get this Archaeomancer resolved. We do. It lets us potentially Devour Flesh, which is good. It gets rid of 1 angler. But we took all those damages, and our race math got messed up because he played another angler. So he gained 5 and we dealt 0 when we were hoping to deal 6, have him gain 0. So it's like 11-point swing. We wanted him to be at 12 this turn. Instead he's at 23, so the race is kind of off. He's just got mono card advantage and guys that we can't kill with Victim of Night. So he correctly doesn't attack with the 5/5. I would have just blocked and flickered. So it looks like we're going to go to 3. Now, it took a long time thinking on this end step. See what else he does. Another Stitch Drake. That's a huge problem. So he hasn't played a single damn creature that we can hit with Victim of Night, which is pretty absurd. In a turn, we have to play Flicker here, but what do we target? We want this Devour Flesh back, but he would just sack the 5/5 and then we're dead to 2 lethal flyers. Flickering back, Auramancer, getting back Font of Fortunes, it just costs too much mana, but it gives us the best chance to hit. We could draw 2 cards with Prism, but we again still need to hit. I like the idea of potentially trying to kill one of his creatures with Ubulsar Flicker. So if we just go Flicker Radiant Fountain, Flicker Auramancer, interesting. So I choose the mana heavy route. I think I get back the Flicker instead of the Devour Flesh because that's maybe not the best line, but getting Deadweight's not the worst. So I can play Ubulsar first, target a Stitch Drake, finish it off with Deadweight. So Deadweight was a pretty great draw. Now I only have enough mana for Flicker and not Font, so the whole play last turn might have been better to just like flicker back a prism just to draw one card immediately. So he attacks for lethal, which leaves us with only one play, really. We have to flicker. We could have targeted Ubulsar, but if he had a removal spell, then it would have done nothing. So I'll target Archaeomancer and Radiant Fountain. So we're at least definitely gaining the 2 life. He can't interact with our land, not that I know of. So he's got a flashback of Think Twice. He can murder my Archaeomancer, which is super annoying, because now we can't get back the flicker. So it's just really crappy situation that we happen to just not be in the race and he has pressure on us because he dealt all this damage to us for 3 power in the air, when if we just had literally, murder instead of Victim of Night, we would have been totally okay. Jeskai Sage, not the best Victim of Night target. We could kill it, which I probably should. I probably should have killed that at end of turn right there. It just draws him a card. Draw a Devour Flesh, which is pretty good, yeah. So to save mana, I should have Victim of Nighted at the end of turn, so I definitely messed up. Play the font, pop the font. Drawing double font when you don't have infinite mana and you have a lethal flyer in play is kind of rough. So my only hope now, I think, is to font, pop font, draw Deadweight, and then Deadweight the 3/4. If I'm not popping the font right now, I guess my plan is to actually Devour Flesh my own creature to gain 4 life. So I go Devour Flesh, target myself, gain 4 life, lose the Sunspire. Hope to draw Flicker. Hope to draw Archaeomancer probably. He's got Thought Scour. Prism, alright, we can play that. Maybe pop the font first. Okay, we draw Flicker. That's interesting. Playing the font. I don't know if playing the font was the best play there. I don't know if popping the font was the best play, because we don't have mana to do anything anyway except play this Flicker. So I guess my play now is to flicker my Radiant Fountain and the Ubulsar to kill the Jeskai Sage. So he goes for the lethal attack again. I go flicker. I guess Prophetic Prism. I guess the Jeskai Sage is kind of relevant. I'd rather just draw a card. He has Anticipate. So now we're dead to any counterspell. And he finds main deck Negate, which is pretty brutal. So we don't gain life and die to Xaxes with pretty much a lot of gas in hand. Like if, let's say, we can somehow kill this 3/4, then his board can't attack us at all, and eventually, or if we get Archaeomancer Flicker going, we're going to be able to, as long as he shows a sign of weakness, we can Archaeomancer Flicker indefinitely with Prophetic Prism, draw a bunch of cards, or with Sunspire Gatekeepers, get a whole bunch of 2/2s. Eventually, Flicker Ubulsar Gatekeepers maybe 3 times in one turn to kill the Angler. We already have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, so we can already Flicker 3 times in one turn as long as he shows a sign of weakness. So it kind of a rough spot. Victim of Night just not pulling its weight. So sideboard wise, we are gonna definitely cut Victim of Night. It's just too huge of a liability when all of his offense can't be killed by it. So the second Victim Knight in our sideboard would have been better as a murder. Murder's super good against him, especially because he's not that fast of a deck. Deadweight doesn't seem to be the best, so we'll probably cut some number of those. We definitely want Negate and Dispel because of his negates and cancels, and what else does he have? Essence Scatter, Reeve, Soul. So he's just a pretty solid normal popper style deck. So our Devour Flesh is pretty good against him. Ubulsar can probably stay in just to kill these random Jeskai Sages, and he probably has Delver. But yeah, we just need to not draw blanks like Victim of Night, and we should be okay. Alright, so off to game 2. We are on the play. And we only have one gate. We do have a prism, which is nice, so we can, any gate kind of enables our whole hand here. And we do have some removal and interaction. So I like this hand. Gatekeeper is nice. We get to play prism. Hopefully not getting annulled, but just Thought Scour. Alright, fourth land means we can at least play Archaeomancer. Hopefully he plays something we can Devour Flesh here. Anticipate. Ooh, Duress. Duress is fine because he gets to take a thing. Probably gets to land Angler because he knows the coast is clear. Haven't drawn that second gate yet, but we do have the prism so that we have double blue to get back this Devour Flesh, so that's good. We have to take 5 here, which is fine. He's got a Delver. Okay, Flicker is great. So here, pretty sure, I guess he could have Cancel Mana open. I think we want to block Flicker or see what he hits off this Delver. So he flips to the Delver, drawing Negate. Now, if I had a stop on his upkeep, which I probably should have, before he drew the Negate, I probably should have played the Devour Flesh. But I figure I have the Dispel for it anyway, so I'll be okay. So he beats down. I send him the Flesh. And I thought he maybe was going to just devour the 5/5. But he does not. I get the Delver. I'm in a weird spot, so I can't block Flicker now. Because he could just negate the Flicker. So I have to take 5. So, again, not the best sequencing for me. I should have fleshed. Potentially before he drew the negate. Either way, the play could have ended up being the same. But draw Font, which is a good draw step. I really want to hit a gate, so I will play Font, crack Font, hit a gate, good, and beat for one since I'm not blocking. So I'm taking 15 damage off this Angler, which I really shouldn't have. Murder is a great draw. So Prism, just want to draw cards. Font, little mana intensive, but my plan is to block Flicker, Dispel. Draw a card. Hopefully he goes for a cancel, the negate, and I can go for the Dispel. And hopefully it works, but he has a cancel for my Flicker. Wow. So that's super annoying. So I lose my Archaeomancer in the process, but at least I don't take 5. So here he has Dispel or Bust, so I figure I should murder. I guess actually, no, what I figure is I can take a hit. Definitely resolves Ceruli since he doesn't have Essence Scanner mana open. And I can get my Font into play too. So it's a mana efficient play for me. And I don't mind taking 5 since my life is pretty high. Plays another Delver. So I can crack this Font. Good, I'm drawing some goodies. So with 5 mana open, I think, and he has Counterspell mana open, I think I want to murder on his upkeep. He reveals an Essence Scatter. Which is super annoying, but good for me to know about. So on upkeep still, I murder his 5/5, and I'm not afraid to take 2. But I'm going to Devour Flesh before he draws this Essence Scatter. And I kill both of his guys, which is awesome. He has Duress, which takes my Prophetic Prism, which is super annoying, but I'm okay with it. I know he has a Scatter and 3 cards in hand. So I obviously want him to scatter this Ceruli. Does he? Yes. So I'm like, yes. 2 cards in hand. 4 mana. I'm going to resolve this Arcane Answer. Nope. He has Scatter number 2, which is kind of annoying, but we are 1 card in hand to 0 cards in hand. I'm already up 2 cards from Font of Fortunes and Prophetic Prisms. He's taking 2, but he's at a high life, and now we're in a little top deck war. Top deck's a Delver, which I'm fine with. I top deck Ceruli, which I think is pretty sick draw, so I'll go for it. And he has Essence Scatter number 3, so I had a chance to be up 14 life, 25 life, and Archaeomancer with a Flicker in hand, but no, he has triple Scatter. I figure attacking is fine. Most likely he'll flip anyway, and then I can't block. But he does not flip, so I take 1 where I didn't have to necessarily. And he draws an Angler, so he basically ripped creature. Oromancer is a good draw step for me. Get to Oromancer, get back Font. So it's a situation where I think is better than Forbidden Alchemy. It's a little bit more mana intensive, but at least I get lands and I hit a Flicker. That's a pretty sick draw step. Reeve Soul. So we basically just top deck Delver, Angler, Reeve Soul, Flip, Delver. Pretty nuts. Sorry about that. Moved the mic so I didn't cough into the mic. But top decks of Reeve Soul after Gurmag, Angler, and Delver are pretty brutal. So now I can't block. I have to go to 2. He's gonna Reeve Soul, and I can't Flicker. So now I can't gain life. So this play is a little interesting. He's got no cards in hand. I've got Flicker, Devour Flesh, so I pretty much want to play Devour Flesh and have him get rid of the Delver. So I think I should attack and get into a spot where I guess I gotta see first. I should Devour Flesh first and see what he sacks. Because if he sacks the Angler, then I can attack since I can't block anyway, and then I have to Flicker my Radiant Fountain Oromancer, get back Font. And I should do that obviously this turn so I can play the Font and draw a card. If I play Devour Flesh and he sacks the Delver, then I gotta leave my 2/2 back, block, Flicker, get target Oromancer Prism, draw a card, and draw Font so that I get my value there. So I think what I'm hoping for is Devour Flesh, have him sack the 5/5, and then I play all my stuff this turn. It uses my mana the most efficiently, but I don't think this through. Keep in mind, I have 6 minutes on my clock and I'm down a game. My head was racing. Trying to find these lines is a little tough when you're putting that much time pressure on yourself. So I think I'm going to attack and I have to Flicker. But then I realize, oh shoot, I might want to block and Flicker. So I don't attack. Realize my mistake though, and I realize I have to Devour Flesh now. He chooses the 5/5, so I missed 2 points of damage. Not super relevant. But what is my play? I should Flicker right now while he has no cards in hand. I have to target, Oromancer, Radiant Fountain. So at least I draw 2 cards. I don't draw a card immediately. It's the value of 1 card immediately versus 2 cards guaranteed, but it's letting him top deck something. So I would have been able to play anything though, like if I just hit Prism and Fountain. Let's say I drew anything, I don't know. Ubulsar Gatekeepers would have been sick, right? That was a top deck. Ceruli would have been good to top deck. Archaeomancer would have been a nice top deck. Sunspire wouldn't do that much since I would still be dead on board the next turn. But I think I just want a chance at the most cards. And so I probably don't have that many outs. So I gained my life so that I'm not dead on board. Hit font. I have 5 mana now. So I still have dead weight as an out, actually. Ugh. I should have popped it right there. Because dead weight is an out to not take 3 damage this turn. That was a huge misplay too. So I take my 3, go to 1. Pop my font. See what I hit. Oromancer land. So also tapped lands would have been good for me to play last turn too. So I should have popped that font for sure. Had another land in place so that I have at least 1 more mana this turn. So I would have hit another land. So Oromancer font. Such a tease. So it's interesting. Against control, I feel like Oromancer font, it seems good, like I'm ahead on cards, but it's costing so much mana that when I'm under pressure, you know, Forbidden Alchemy just finding me the Ceruli or the Deadweight or whatever I needed would have been likely better. Because this is costing me too much mana. So now my outs are really limited. Sunspire Gatekeepers doesn't do it for me anyway. So, looks like I'm dead on board. And that's all she wrote. So, overall, I think I drew pretty poorly this game. I made a couple slight misplays for sure. The fact that he had triple Essence Scatter so that I didn't get Flicker back with Arcane-Mancer and I didn't gain 14 life was a little brutal. But I needed to hit something relevant on my fonts and just didn't. Could have played better with my Dispel and the Ghostly Flicker earlier in the game. I didn't have to have my Arcane-Mancer die when he had the double negate cancel turn. So overall, I think this blue-black deck is very good though. I expect him to do well with it. And wish him all the best. I really like my deck. I really like Extended Pauper. I think my deck would do well in a more defined metagame. Now that I know the style of blue-black deck, I probably would have played like a little bit different cards. Like I think I like putting Victim of Night in the sideboard and just having at least a second Murder main deck. And I like having a little bit more counter magic, at least to combat his counter magic. And yeah, but overall, very fun games, very fun league. Appreciate them doing it. Always stay tuned for more leagues in the Pauper variety at magicgatheringstrat.com. I'm going to talk to them and see if I can get these videos posted on their site, but I will definitely try to post them on my site at thedraftbrewery.wordpress.com as well. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I made a few other brews that I didn't deck tech because I never played them, but I definitely had a similar blue-black deck. I also had a mono red aggro deck and a mono black devotion / exploit deck. So yeah, thanks for watching. Fun league.